Well, here we are, 6 long years since the Uluru Statement from the Heart was issued to the Australian people as an invitation to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future. We are here, October 14. We are now under 7 weeks away from a historic ballot where the nation will finally recognise the First Nations people of Australia in the Constitution. Drafted in the 1890s, the Constitution expressly excluded our people for 67 years. We were not part of the national story. This referendum is about correcting this. It is about recognising First Nations peoples through a voice. I studied constitutions because they do have a role in shaping a nation and its culture. Constitutions create the material conditions that allow populations and communities to flourish. This is why they are so important. Our Constitution has done a pretty good job for most Australians, but not for all. We were excluded from the constitutional order. 1967 was momentous because it neutralised that exclusion. But the manifestation of that original exclusion is difficult to erase without change, without structural change and recognition. That is what this referendum is about. This referendum is about positive empowerment, recognition through a voice. 6 years ago, when our men and women in the regional dialogues were asked, "What is meaningful recognition to you?" What was their answer? They chose recognition as having a more active role in the democratic life of the Australian state. They chose recognition through a voice. Now, I want the politicians to close their ears because I'm going to say that not everyone wants to be a politician. And our First Nations men and women in the dialogues who live in communities, they choose to stay on country and devote their lives to the service of their people, of their culture, of their communities. They should not have to move to Canberra to have a say in the laws and policies made about their lives. They should not have to be personal friends with bureaucrats or politicians or have ministers on speed dial in order to influence the way their communities are funded and the way resources are allocated. This is why recognition through a voice is an effective way to bring empowerment and accountability to Indigenous affairs. That will lead to better quality laws when we are at the table and better quality policies when we are at the table, because consultation will no longer be superficial. Consultation will no longer exclude our communities, and we will have better outcomes and better results because of that. We know that well over 80% of our communities support a voice. We also know that those who don't support a voice get 80% of the media coverage. But our people are a pragmatic and practical people. When I hear some people say, "The voice is not strong enough," how can anyone ever say that our voices, together, united, is not strong enough? This is about changing the way we do things in communities. It is about recognising our communities through a voice. It is about listening, and it is about acting. Best practice globally tells us that human beings are more likely to flourish if they have control over their lives, to dream, to have vision, to plan. This is what the voice is about. It permits our people to have a seat at the table. The drafters of the Australian Constitution did not leave it to politicians to change the Constitution, and there are many constitutions in the world like that. They could have. Instead, they left it to we, the people. This is about our agency as Australians to make change together. This is about unity of purpose. At Uluru in 2017, our old people said, let's write a one-page logic to the Australian people for why we need this change. Recognition through a voice. We thought all Australians can see that the status quo does not work for our people. And after all that has happened to our people, they chose to offer an olive branch, a hand of peace, a hand of friendship, to unite the nation. We invited our fellow Australians to be part of the solution, to listen to us, to walk with us, to use your voice to help give us one. Recognition through a voice. Our people chose to present a one-page invitation, an opportunity, a roadmap to a solution. Not more of the same, not the status quo, not business as usual. A vote for no is an endorsement of no change. It is a vote for the status quo. In the Uluru Statement, our people chose generosity, we chose unity, we chose real change, and we chose love. And 6 years after we read out the Uluru Statement to the Australian people, the time is now to vote yes. And again, we ask all Australians on this very important day to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future. Thank you.